Get ready, America, for this is the best of Destination Small Town, a Cluck TV production, featuring the shows that have taken Sweet Swine County by storm. The reality hit, The Real Housewives of Sweet Swine County, Sweet Swine's favorite music show, Backstage at the Commune, the tastefully done cooking segment, Cooking It Up with Betty, the always zany soap opera, As the Corn Grows, and of course, the wildly popular talk shows that share what's happening inside and outside Sweet Swine County. Which shows will you be seeing today? Stay tuned and find out right after the break.
Get ready, because our culinary expert and, dare we say, wine aficionado beyond belief, Betty Thompson, is preparing some tantalizing dishes for us on her show, Cooking It Up with Betty. In the midst of cooking, our dear old Betty does join her What's Cooking reporters traveling throughout our story country. Now, on this station and the web.
This program is made possible in part by Swine Tales Publications, the proud publisher of Sweet Swine County maps and plat books, now publishing authors from throughout Sweet Swine County. Swine Tales Publication is now making plans for their next book tour, and they may be held in these small towns with the release of The Sweet Swine Diaries, a collection of unauthorized biographies by Cassidy Davis, featuring a riveting collection of the exotic, neurotic, chaotic, and even psychotic stories about the lives of the Sweet Swine County ladies. Miss Davis is quoted as saying, "I have never seen so many single women with so many problems in my life. Enjoy." Each of these towns and their businesses are being considered to hold a book signing because of the information found on the best source about small towns of the Midwest. To learn about these towns and their businesses, visit DestinationSmallTown.com.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of As the Corn Grows. Today, we're in the office of Cousin John with Aunt Ella's closest friend, Mrs. Swanson, Aunt Ella's goddaughter, Prairie Ann, and the bumbling but lovable Lawyer Ed for the reading of Aunt Ella's last will and testament.
I was really surprised to get your call, Ed. I don't know why Aunt Ella would want me here.
Well, she considered you to be a good friend, as she did you, Prairie Ann.
I still can't believe she's gone.
Oh, I can't either. I was so heartbroken I couldn't attend the services at all. She was my first love.
Hey, can we get on with this? I've got a whole truckload of laying hens that's leaving here at 1 o'clock.
Oh, don't be such an old grouch, for heaven's sakes. And I didn't know that you dated Aunt Ella.
Yeah, we dated in high school. And actually, we were engaged to be married.
You two got hitched? Giddy up.
No, we weren't hitched, but I had dreams of making in vaudeville and was going to get on the entertainment circuit and travel the country.
You were in showbiz?
Yes, I was in show business, but Ella wanted no part of it. I wanted to follow the bright lights, but Ella wanted to stay here in Sweet Swine County and take care of her father's farm.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yes, it was. It was very sad, but she did come to visit me every year.
Every year?
Every year until 1956.
1956?
Yeah, that was the year she just called me.
But she never married, did she?
Yeah, she said I was a tough act to follow, and it took me 40 years to get over the idea that she would never be my wife.
Oh, Ed, that is just so romantic.
Oh, yeah, let's break out the violins and pop the cork on some champagne.
Oh, be quiet, you old sourpuss.
Listen, woman, and you, let's get on with this.
Oh, we can't do anything until Elmer Plow gets here.
Plow?
Yeah.
He's in the will?
Sure, yes.
Elmer's coming, Ed, really?
Yeah, in fact, he should be here any time.
So tell me, Lawyer Ed, why did you give up show business to practice law back here in Sweet Swine County? I just don't get it.
Well, I got my big break on the Telly Sullivan Show, and I was following this rock and roll group, this long-haired rock and roll group. They're singing something about "She Loves You." Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the crowd went frantic, and that was.
So why did you quit?
Well, I had kind of a dry spell. You might call it a dry spell. It lasted about about 20 years. And my father wanted me to come back and help with the law practice, and Ella was here. And
So, you're calling 20 years a little dry spell?
So why didn't you and Aunt Ella get back together?
kind of a complicated story. I was on my way back from L.A. on the Great Northern Railroad, and we went down to the dining car, and I had a nightcap, and this lady was there, and so we got off the train in Denver and got married.
Let me see if I got this straight. You pined for Aunt Ella for 40 years,
Yeah.
and then you're on your way back to town. You meet, fall in love, and marry a woman on a train.
It lasted 14 wonderful days.
You were only married for 14 days?
Yeah, 14 days, but they were magical.
Oh, Elmer.
You were married only
Sorry I'm late, folks, but this biker gang out by Marvin Monroe spooked his buffalo herd and trampled all of Clem Johnson's corn.
Elmer, are you okay?
Now, I'm okay, but the corn isn't.
Let's get started.
Oh, it's about time.
You're not the only one that's busy, John. I have a pie in the oven.
Pie? What kind of pie?
Just relax. I'll buy you a pie, okay? Let's get on with this thing.
Yes, I've called you all here for the reading of the last will and testament of Aunt Ella.
You mean we're all in the will?
You most certainly are. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch a little video that Aunt Ella prepared before we read the will.
Good morning, Mrs. Swanson, Elmer, Prairie Ann, and of course you, John. I went over to Newport and had this here video message made. I bet you thought you heard the last of me, didn't you, John? Just a little after-death humor. You're here today for the reading of my will. Now, Mrs. Swanson and Prairie Ann, stop crying. There ain't no need to cry. I'm in a far better place, and I know I've left my farm in good hands. Elmer Plow, I know that you're a good man, and you'll do whatever I ask when it comes to taking care of my farm. You know, death is a part of life, and I had me a good long run. So don't cry and don't have any regrets about anything, because I'm having a high old time up here in heaven. Well, Lawyer Ed, get on with it. I'll sure miss Sweet Swine County, but I'm in a far better place. Oh, and Elmer, one more thing, very important. Please, take good care of my dear Katie.
Well, this is the reading of the will of Aunt Ella, and states in here that she would like to start with Mrs. Swanson. Mrs. Swanson, Aunt Ella would like to give you all of her recipe books for pies and hot dishes.
I can't believe it. Why, Aunt Ella was the best cook in all of these parts, even better than me. Why, she won blue ribbons in every contest at the county fairs. Thank you, Aunt Ella.
And to my goddaughter, Prairie Ann, she gives me the horse award that she won in 1946.
It's a major award. Oh, you all know Aunt Ella absolutely cherished this. Now all my dreams are gonna come true. Giddy up.
I don't see how a small horse award's going to make all of your
You'll see, Ed.
dreams come true.
Listen, Ed, can we wrap this up, please?
Right now, well, Elmer, Plow, we have all of our safety manuals. Now, we've got a lot more in the basement, boxes of these. All of our safety manuals from 1935.
God, love that woman.
Oh, for crying out loud, Plow. Let's go, Ed, come on.
And for Cousin John, we have plat books, all of our plat books. We've got boxes of those also, and our collection of seed corn caps. You'll be the best dressed farmer at the coffee shop.
Seed corn caps. Yeah. What about the farm?
Okay. We're going right. That's the next item, the very next item.
All right.
Okay. Well, it's the house,
Yeah.
the farm buildings,
Uh-huh.
all the machinery, and the farmland. I leave to my darling niece Katie.
Katie. Oh, crap.
Well, talk about a voice from beyond. Will Prairie Ann's dreams ever really come true? Will Mrs. Swanson win the blue ribbon at this year's county fair cook-off? Will Elmer go cross-eyed reading 50 years of farm safety manuals? Will Lawyer Ed's crush on Aunt Ella die with her? And will Cousin John do everything in his power to get his father's farm back from poor, unsuspecting Katie? I guess we'll find out after the break.
This program has been made possible by The Daily Boar. This sometimes daily newspaper reports the news the residents of Sweet Swine County want to know. Also now featured online at sweetswinescoop.com.
Get ready, because now you can watch a full of fun daytime talk show that shares the latest and greatest news about the people, places, and events found all over our story country. The Women of Sweet Swine County, hosted by 3 sassy ladies that tell small town stories with big town attitude. Now on this station and the web. Welcome back to As the Corn Grows. Now, we join Cousin John in the law offices of Lawyer Ed, as Cousin John says he intends to contest Aunt Ella's will and get the farm back.
Listen, I'm going to contest this will and get that farm back in my family, or my name is not John Robert Olson.
Whoa, John, calm down. Have a seat, relax. I don't want to have to call security on you. Edna here is the security.
Calm down.
All right. No, I'm not calming down. I'm the one who's excited. I'm not beating on the table. I'm not trying to contest this
Listen, can't
will.
we just talk this over like rational human beings?
Well, sure we can. Yeah, you'll be all right there. Yeah, I suppose we can, yeah. But, let me give you some advice, John. You can't contest this will. This will is ironclad.
But I want...
No but about it. Aunt Ella, she prepared this for you. She decided everything she wanted you to have. It's right here. Let me look at this just a second. Here's a clause right here. It's a basic clause. And it's right there. It's right. It says, what she left you is exactly what she intended for you to leave to you.
Come on, let's be serious. Urban Katie is a city girl. You can't possibly think that she's going to move from California back here to Minnesota to run a farm.
Well, let me check with Edna. Edna, when is that sexy young lady from California coming? One with the nice legs. And she's yeah, right. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Today? She can't be moving in today.
Oh, hold on a second. Edna. Right. I got an appointment with her. What time is that? Oh, okay. John, look, I got an appointment with her at 1 o'clock, and I got a bunch of stuff to do. Edna, can you help John out?
This is not the end of this.
Edna, can you help John out? And Edna, when he leaves, lock the door.
Later that day.
Hey, Cousin John.
Hey, can a guy get a cup of coffee over here?
And give me a piece of pie. Hey, Cousin John, have you heard the big news?
What, was there another safety recall on the Cup of Joe coffee pot?
Oh, not again. You know what? You're just joshing me. I know you. No, I'm talking about the news about Urban Katie.
Katie, what did you hear?
It's not what I hear. It's what I see. She's right over there.
Katie's here?
Oh no, I think she left. She's getting in the car outside. She's leaving. I can't believe you didn't see her.
Oh, it figures. I haven't seen her in over 20 years. How would I recognize her?
Well, she's taking off right now.
I got to get to the feed store.
Nice talking to you, Cousin John.
Yeah.
That Urban Katie, she sure is swell.
Yeah, swell.
Later that day,
Cousin John, Cousin John.
Oh, great. Just when you think things couldn't get worse.
Did you see her, Cousin John? Did you see her?
See who?
Katie, Urban Katie, she was right here on this spot. You must have seen her. There she goes now.
Listen, I've got better things to do than look for Urban Katie.
Aren't you excited?
Oh, I'm all a Twitter.
Well, then, John Olson, guess I'll never give you any breaking news anymore.
later that day,
Well, well, how long have you two been a couple?
Oh no, Cousin John's just a friend. He's been so helpful ever since my poor, poor sister passed.
No, there's no couple thing. Ever since Aunt Ella died, I just take her stepsister out to get groceries, that's all.
Well, have you seen your cousin Katie?
Well,
She's here, you know. Moved here yesterday.
Well, that's what...
Great big moving truck, 3 or 4 movers.
Hey, she actually moved here? Cousin John said.
Yeah. Now you're going to tell me you just saw her walk in the grocery store, right?
No, up. There she is. There she is right now. Katie, Urban Katie. Oh, she just got in her car and left. I'm sorry. You'll have to catch her later.
Maybe I'll just have to do that.
well now, will Cousin John ever see Urban Katie face to face? Will Mrs. Swanson get to the bottom of the Cousin John, Aunt Minnie romance? And will Aunt Minnie ever admit that she's dating her late stepsister's nephew? I guess we'll find out after the break.
This program is made possible in part by Swine Tales Publications, the proud publisher of Sweet Swine County maps and plat books, now publishing authors from throughout Sweet Swine County. Swine Tales Publication is now making plans for their next book tour, and they may be held in these small towns with the release of One Duck, One Ventriloquist, an autobiography by Lawyer Ed. Talented, driven, hungry for fortune and fame, the story of a man and his wooden duck against the world. The High Horse Herald says, "This guy quacks me up. What a character, and the lawyer's funny too." The New Pork Periodical says, "Best $2 I ever spent on a book." Each of these towns and their businesses are being considered to hold a book signing because of the information found on the best source about small towns of the Midwest. To learn about these towns and their businesses, visit DestinationSmallTown.com. This program has been made possible by the Swine Song Commune, where musicians, artists, and hippie types live together and share their passions. To learn more, visit the online magazine at sweetswinescoop.com.
Welcome back to As the Corn Grows. Now we join Lawyer Ed as he explains the last wishes of Aunt Ella to Katie, the new owner of Aunt Ella's farm.
Oh yeah, Officer Dave. Yes, yeah. No. I know. You're trying to line up another blind date, but Officer Dave, I only got one girl who works at this dating service who's blind. Yeah, and she doesn't want it. No more. She said no more. So I'll make maybe 400 or 500 phone calls and see if maybe I can line up another date for you. Does she have to be blind? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Good. Well. All right. I'll give you a call when I get that done. All right. Thanks a lot. Well, as I mentioned to you on the telephone, your Aunt Ella's will is very, very specific.
Well, I'm delighted, and by the way, please call me Katie.
Katie?
I have to tell you, that Aunt Ella is so special to me, she was, and that my summers on her farm are so precious.
Well, Katie, I don't know if you realize it, but your Aunt Ella and I were very, very close.
Close?
Yes. Well, we were engaged to be married about 70 years ago.
70? Well, just how old are you, Lawyer Ed?
Well, my memory is pretty good, but I remember when I was 13, they invented water. And when I was 9, I can remember them inventing dirt.
So you're of the mud era?
Yes. You know, that's how the dinosaurs got the tracks, you know? Yeah, I was there. I think one of my pets was one of those with the tracks. I was born in 1912.
Okay, so 1912. Wait a minute, 1912?
Let me take my shoes and socks off. We'll do the math. No.
Wait, that means you're 96 years old?
I keep fit. I eat well, exercise, and I've had a little bit of work done. It helps me in the courtroom.
Well, you don't look a
well,
day over 60.
Yeah, it helps when I go to court. It helps a lot.
Does it really? Well,
Yeah.
you must have a very good plastic surgeon on retainer at every moment.
Yes, I do. He's close, just a speed dial away. Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
As I was saying, Ella and I, we were engaged to be married.
Married?
Yes.
She never mentioned that.
Well, we tend to keep those things to ourselves, which are most painful. You see, the vows were never spoken.
So you never actually married then?
Well, you see, I wanted Hollywood, and Ella, she wanted Sweet Swine County. So we were star-crossed lovers, destined to live apart.
So this is why Aunt Ella never married, isn't it?
She carried the torch for the old Edsel for 70 years plus.
So did you ever marry?
Well, it took me 40 years before I met my first wife, Ella. Ella Louise.
Your first wife?
Well, I met her on the train coming to Sweet Swine County, and we had 14 magical days.
14 days?
Magical days. Magical, A lot of people, they're married for an eternity, 6 months, and they have no magical days. One day, there was a knock at the door. The federal marshals were there, and they grabbed Ella Louise, held her down on the ground, put handcuffs on her. She thought it was foreplay. And then the next thing you know, she's off to prison.
What had she done wrong?
She was insider trading.
No.
Yeah.
Get out.
No, it's all right.
Well, so did you divorce her, or?
Well, I told her I would wait for her, but she insisted that I just go on without her.
Okay, so how many times have you been married?
Well, let's see. There was Ella Louise, and there was Ella May, and Ella Renee, Ella Joe, Ella Maria, and then there was Ella Clarabelle. She was great fun. They dropped the Ella off of her name for the stage name, but she was a great clown. We loved clowning around. It was great. We would take trips together, and she had kind of a little car. I mean, it would be like, she would come and just dive in that car. We'd be like 17 clowns in there with us, and we'd take trips. It was wonderful. I mean,
wow.
That was one of the most exciting marriages of all.
But you know what's so interesting, Lawyer Ed?
What's that?
Is that all of your wives were named Ella.
That's right. They were. It was easy to remember their names. And I guess I always just wanted a little bit of the Ella in my life,
Oh, how sweet. Yeah. That's very sweet of you.
Hey. Well, enough about me. Let's talk about this will, Aunt Ella was very, very fond of you. She saw a lot of herself in you. She saw a lot of the spit and vinegar. She saw a lot of the pioneer spunk. And, you remind me a lot of her. A lot of her. Why don't you just sidle right up here beside me, and let's hop right over here into Uncle Ed's lap, and let's look at this will.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Lawyer Ed, but Elmer Plow is here.
Oh, Elmer Plow, he must be early. We're working on this will. We've got some things going on in here. Are you sure it's time for him to be here?
Sure thing.
Okay, all right. Well, send him in.
Elmer Plow?
Oh, he's someone I wanted you to meet. Elmer, come in here, have a seat. Can you move over that way just a little bit more? Oh, okay. Katie, I wanted to have you meet Elmer Plow. Elmer Plow is the Sweet Swine County Extension Agent.
Elmer Plow, it is so nice to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Well, yeah, as I was saying, Aunt Ella left the farmhouse and all the farmland to you. Aunt Ella was worried that you may need some help.
Help?
Yes, well, running a farm is different than running a magazine. There's a lot of expertise that's needed, and that's what Elmer Plow is here for, is to provide that expertise.
Really? Well, so are you a farmer, Mr. Plow?
Oh, no, I'm not a farmer, Miss Olson. I'm the county extension agent, and I specialize in farm safety.
Safety?
Oh, of course. The key to any successful organization is the proper adherence to safety principles. This is a common fact.
Since we're going to be working so closely together, perhaps you should call me Katie.
Let me tell you something, Miss Olson.
Yeah?
You have 200 of the best acres in this entire county. With proper management, experienced farm hands, there is no way you will not have a bumper crop in the fall.
So are you going to be my farm manager then?
No. You don't understand. I am far too busy to manage a farm. I have got all kinds of safety issues in this county. This county is a disaster area. But I have the line on 2 or 3 very good people that will help you in your farming operation.
Well, I don't know, but this is all starting to sound terribly expensive.
Well, Miss Katie, don't worry. Trust Uncle Ed. I happen to know that Aunt Ella left some money in a fund that will get you through to the first harvest.
Well, I don't know. I'm starting to get very overwhelmed.
Well, it's not overwhelming, but there is something I need to warn you about.
Well,
It's him.
I'm an old man. But I do need to warn you about Cousin John.
Cousin John? Well, that's Uncle Rupert's son,
Yes,
right?
yes. Well, ever since Rupert passed, he has been talking about getting this farm back. He came in to see me recently, and he wanted to see the will. We talked about the will, and I explained to him that what happens with this, and he says he doesn't care what the will says. He's going to get that farm back.
Lawyer Ed is right. In addition to being worried about this one-eyed barrister, you do need to worry about Cousin John. He was spouting off at Edie's Cafe this morning about some sissified California girl isn't going to come into Sweet Swine County and run his father's farm. He has vowed to get this farm back for pennies on the dollar.
Well, I've got a message for Cousin John. You may tell him that I did not drive 2,200 miles in a Penske truck with a distressed cat in my passenger seat towing my flying bedpan of a car to turn tail and run.
Mrs. Swanson is here.
Mrs. Swanson? Tell her to come on in.
Sure thing. Oh, and I wanted to remind you about your 2 o'clock appointment.
Oh, 2 o'clock appointment. Oh, gosh, thank you very much. I have an appointment with Roberta, the new hairdresser down the street. I have to go. You all stay here, take your time, get acquainted. I'll get in touch with you next week after you get a chance to get settled. Okay?
Maybe I should leave too.
No, just stay. I'll tell Wilma that you'll be using the office for a while.
I can't believe that guy is 96.
Oh, wait, that's nothing. He's got an uncle over in Newport. He's 114 and he's still trying cases. So, Mrs. Swanson, it looks like you've been baking again.
Well, I tell you what, strawberry rhubarb pie, picked fresh this morning, took it out of the oven about an hour ago.
Mrs. Swanson, I'd like you to meet someone. Mrs. Swanson, this is Katie. Katie, this is Mrs. Swanson, Aunt Ella's oldest friend. Mrs. Swanson, Katie.
Well, Katie, nice to meet you. I don't know if I'm the oldest friend, but surely she was one of my closest friends.
Well, I must say this pie it's smelling like heaven to me.
It was Aunt Ella's favorite recipe. And I don't know if you remember me or not, but when you were a little girl, you used to come to my farm every summer, ride my horses, and pick my flowers.
I do kind of remember that.
That's so nice to hear. And I'm so glad that you have met Elmer. He's been a faithful friend, and he's here to help you get a bumper crop.
Bumper crop?
Well, as I'm looking around here, I certainly think you're going to need one.
Well, now isn't that interesting? Will Katie be able to stand up to Cousin John? Will Elmer Plow pull out his bag of farm safety tips? And will Mrs. Swanson ignite a romance between Elmer and Katie with her out-of-this-world, melt-in-your-mouth pies? Find out next time on As the Corn Grows! Get ready, because now you can see a late-night talk show filmed in front of a discerning yet agreeable studio audience. Split Hoof tonight! Cousin John and his incomparable sidekick, Earl Silo, interview a roster of guests who make appearances that you won't want to miss. Now on this station and the web.